What's up, everybody? I am Travesty.
I'm Cartoon Joe.
And welcome back to another episode of this freaking show. It is the weekly podcast with a little bit of something and a whole lot of nothing. The same weekly podcast is brought to you by CarterComics.com. CarterComics.com is your one-stop shop for all your comic needs. Whether it be graded or raw, Carter Comics has got them all. All you gotta do is go to CarterComics.com, check out their amazing store, fill your cart up with all their comics they have available. Use the discount code FREAKNET, F-R-E-A-K-N-E-T. You'll save 10% on your entire order. Not just at their website, but also on their 4 eBay accounts that they run. Links to all those can be found on the homepage of CarterComics.com. Now I know what you're thinking, well, they can't have everything that I want. Well, you don't know, because they actually have thousands of titles that have yet to be uploaded onto their site. Reach out to them at CarterComics.com. Find out if they have it in stock. They might have your comic for you, and they might be able to work with you on the price. If they don't have it, ask them to look for it. They might be able to search it for you. For some reason, they have a good chance of finding the comics you've been looking for. Again, that's CarterComics.com, one-stop shop for all your comic needs.
Nice.
I know, it's got to be like the most professional ad that I ever did.
It was very professional. Did you? I think I zoned out in the middle of it. Because somebody on Facebook posted a picture of somebody writing Satan on toast, and I thought, what's up with that? Did you mention the discount code?
Oh, I did. And I spelled it out. I don't know why I feel the need to spell it out every time I do the promo.
Yeah. I don't know. You never know who's, you could spell fish, P-H-O-T-I. So,
What?
Or G-H-O-T-I. So you never know how people are going to try and spell Freaknet. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on, that P-H-O-T-I?
Yeah, well, G-H-O-T-I is what I meant. But.
G-H-O-T-I? How's that fish?
Yes. Well, you do the G-H as in enough. You do the O as in women. You do the T-I as in action. And then you got it. You got fish. English was weird. You shouldn't spell it that way on anything professional, but it's just a fun little thought experiment about how English is kind of a stupid language.
Oh. You ever think that maybe words are spelled accurately, they're just pronounced wrong? Maybe should action be action?
Ooh, I've never thought about that. I like it. Well, it's interesting. A lot of the way that we pronounce things happened because I forget exactly what century it was. I want to say 14th for some reason. Maybe it was the 10th century. I don't know. At some point, France invaded England, and they were in charge for a long time. And then England got its stuff back, and France left. But France left its pronunciations behind. And so, English used to be a lot more Germanic. So, the word knife used to be pronounced knife. So hand me that knife over there so I can cut my steak or whatever. And because of the French, the K became silent and the I, instead of being E, became I. And so we adopt a lot of the French pronunciations of things. So there is an argument to be made that, actually we are pronouncing them wrong.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like gnat.
Yeah, exactly.
You thinking all the time that, I don't know when the word gnat came into existence. We think there should have been a point where somebody hey, you think we can get rid of some letters that just don't matter to have in there?
Right. Naturally.
Right. Let's say, would it be weirder now in life if, let's say, you and your lovely wife had a child, and they came home from school? So let's say 2035.
Sure.
Okay. They come home from school and they're asking you to help them with like their spelling homework and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, like at the top of the page, it says new word spelling report or something like that.
All right.
And it's like, Dad, could you help me spell these words? And you're like, sure, child. Net. And you're like, oh, G-N-E-T. It's like, well, no, there's no more G.
Nice.
Okay, so it's N-E-T. Okay, cool. And knife, and you're like, K-N-I-F-E. It's like, no, Dad, there's no more K.
Got rid of all the silent letters.
It's just N-I-F-E. Okay. Tough, or T-O-U-G-H. Well, no. We double F's now.
Nice.
T-U-F-F. Would that be a benefit or a hindrance to society if they were to develop the concept of words are spelled the way they're sound?
Yeah. I honestly don't know. I would like it to some extent, but I also feel like, what do I want to say about it? The dog is being wagged by the tail. I feel like, because it might make English easier to spell and write and stuff, but I also, how do I want to put it? So when people don't know how to spell things, they just get as close as they can, right? And so we end up with such wonderful things like, instead of lactose intolerant, you get that lactose and tolerant. L-A-C-K space T-O-A-S-T space, which I think is hilarious and brilliant, and also very wrong. Right? And so it's like, on the one hand, I mean, my opinion has always been that as long as I can understand what is being said, the language worked like it was supposed to. Gotcha. So like, if communication becomes easier because we spell tough, T-U-F-F, I'm fine with that. It'll be hard for me to adjust because I learned how to spell too early, but I'll live with it. Yeah. I also think that there will be very interesting and clever ways that people will fuck it up. And I'm almost more interested in that. Well,
it's definitely, it's not like, they're deciding in the world like, hey, from now on we're driving on the left side of the road instead of the right. Obviously you have to make sure everybody's on board at the very beginning and slowly transition into it. But words are definitely different, especially when it comes down to spelling shit. Now, I don't know how many people in this world with, unless they're in the career path that requires it. Like, when was the last time you ever had to write out the word tough or gnat?
Oh, yeah. Tough, I've had to write out more often than not than I should have. But gnat, I never write gnat.
Yeah. But even like pronouncing stuff, and I guess I can understand why people feel that like, I think it's actually been proven that learning English is more difficult than any other language because we got words that they sound the same, but they're for different things.
Right. Like it's time to polish the Polish furniture.
Yeah.
Well, that's spelling. That's where they're spelled the same, but.
Yeah, but saying it though.
Yeah.
Bit. Past tense of bite or part of a drill.
Right.
Or like when people, I think, what was the one that I think I learned in school? Like when it comes to like trees and stuff like that. Like in Spanish, like they have one word. It's like arbor or whatever it is, like arbor, sure. But in Spanish. But like when it comes down to like branches and twigs, tree trunks and stuff like that, like there's not a different word for all that stuff. It's all just tree.
Really?
I believe so. I could be wrong. At least I took Spanish too back in 2005. So
that's further in Spanish than I ever made it.
Well, I think the statute of limitations has long passed, but I shouldn't have been in Spanish too. I passed Spanish 2, but I never should have been in Spanish 2 because I failed Spanish 1. So I don't know how I graduated because I don't think I had the sufficient credits in order to pass, but I guess I was, nice enough to where people were okay with it.
Yeah.
move the herd along and get, onto the next group. But no. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Actian, I don't know.
Yeah. I love it. It's actually, excuse me. Oh, I took a breath. A little of the spit got caught right in the back of my throat. Love it when that happens.
Oh, I thought you started to breathe before you were prepared for it.
Mm-mm. No, I took a breath and it choked. My own breath choked me.
Oh God, you took your own breath away.
Yeah.
I believe that's called suicide, but
yeah.
Well,
I feel like only if it's intentional. Otherwise, it's I feel like they need a word for suicide, but manslaughter. Like, what do you like? Suislaughter? I don't know.
What if not to get too morbid about it, but what if you attempted suicide and failed, and they could charge you with attempted murder?
Right? Oh, I have had that thought before because there are some people who survive suicide, and suicide's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it is actually a crime to try to kill yourself, but there's, no punishment because they're like, well, you already kind of punished yourself with, the worst thing you could have done, so we're just going to sentence you to, psychiatric time.
Right? Well, maybe they just never, because maybe never the victim never just always chooses not to press charges against the attacker. Can you imagine if that was a new policy right now? You get out of the hospital, finally being released after a suicide attempt, whether it be hanging or cutting or pills or whatever like that.
Right.
And they bring you into an interrogation room, and the first thing they ask you is do you want to press charges?
And it depends. Can the penalty be death?
Yeah, it's like
I'll plead guilty right now.
Right? It's geez, I'll take care of this right now. This moment.
That being said, a lot of people who survive their suicide attempts do no longer feel suicidal.
No, it's like they got a second chance at life.
Yeah.
Which, it's unfortunate they don't have that thought before they make that decision, but
yeah. No, I like to think of it as for most people, obviously there are some people who do it to get out of punishment or something, like your Jeffrey Epsteins of the world.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that for a lot of people, suicide is the final symptom of terminal depression.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing that anybody could do to stop you from doing it if that's what you're determined to do, because you basically have emotional cancer in your brain. But
yeah,
that being said, don't do it, you fucking depressed fucks.
Right.
Pardon my language. Sorry, Nixon. Sorry, Sherry.
Call somebody. Reach out. It's one of the things especially when it comes down to the concept of depression. I mean, obviously, I think. How do I put this? I mean, I guess realistically, it could be scientific fact. I don't know. But when it comes down to the decision of suicide, I think it comes down to more depression than anything.
Yeah.
But it's always that possibility too of if they don't do autopsies and stuff like that. Especially with celebrities.
Yeah.
How much is it just mental depression or depression from they find out they have an illness and they just didn't want to live with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a big part of Robin Williams, as I understand it.
Did they ever find out if it was an illness or just if it was a terminal illness or if it was a mental illness? Did they ever establish that? What
I understand, and I mean, I don't know, I don't have any sources to cite. I've read lots of news stories over the years about it. Mm-hmm. He struggled with depression most of his life. That was a big part of his sort of behind the humor story. Mm-hmm. But the final nail in the coffin was that he had been diagnosed with early onset dementia. And so it wouldn't have necessarily been any more terminal than just living through the end of your life. But he just couldn't tolerate the idea of losing his mind that way.
Yeah.
And so while he still had control, he took it,
Yeah.
Which sucks. It was very sad. Don't get me.
No, yeah, no. And actually, something happened in Pietro not too long ago. It's always kind of goofy to talk about stories that happen in town, especially when you know the people.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be very respectful as much as I can to tell this, because it is a real thing, and I do feel bad for the family. But there was a guy who was hit by a car. I think it was last week. It might have been last week or the week before, who got hit by a car and passed away. And I heard about this from Mom and Carl. I didn't even know this happened. That, one evening somebody was on Route 50, the main strip through town, not the major highway, but the main strip.
Yeah.
And walked out in front of a car
Oh.
that was driven by a 17-year-old kid and got hit. And
I hate that.
Side note to this whole thing, from all the information I was told by people, so I wasn't there. This is all, so if all this is true, it's bullshit. But I was told that the first person on the scene, other than the person driving and the person who got hit, was the neighbor of the person who got hit. And while they were trying to do CPR on the person, everyone was standing around with cameras, with their cameras out, shit like that. If you're the kind of person to do that, fix yourself.
Yeah.
because if somebody is in dire need of help, and your first thought is, I want to take a video or a Snapchat or an Instagram Live or a picture to send to somebody about that incident, that's a horrible way to live.
Yeah.
Like that just sucks. Your first mindset should be, I should be on the phone calling 911 or finding something I could do to help out. Don't be those people who want to take, pictures of other people's misfortunes. That sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I know the person who got hit, and I know the neighbor. I don't know the kid who drove the car, but I hope that kid's okay.
Me too.
Because by all accounts, that guy intentionally walked into the street.
Yeah. That's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't want to say it.
But real quick. Let me finish what happened.
Yeah, finish your story. Sorry.
So to come to find out that he had early onset dementia.
Oh God.
And it was really bad. So when he has really bad days, he wanders off. So I guess
so there's a chance this was an accident.
There's a chance it was an accident. But what you were talking about, with Ron Williams, no one really knows if it was a complete accident and he just wasn't really focused on what he was doing, or if he just had such a really bad day in his mind. It's there's one way to get out of this.
Yeah.
So there's so it's situations like that where that they have this issue with them, to where it's you never really know what was going through his mind. At the very end and stuff. And it's not they send a text out, explaining it and all that other stuff, because believe it or not, from my understanding, the suicide notes don't really happen as often as people think they do.
No,
it's very rare to get a final note or last, any letter.
Right. I think when you get to that point, it's hard to believe that anybody would care enough for you to leave a note.
Yeah.
It's I think I've talked about, I've had mental health struggles. We talked about that in the past. Yeah. And I was talking to my dad one time about how I don't want to probably ever have a gun in the house, because I've had thoughts like that, and I don't want a temporary thought to become a permanent decision. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it's just safer for me to not own a gun. And his first response was, well, if you ever did that, I'd be really disappointed in you. And I'm just man, if I'm ever to that point, I am no longer caring about your disappointment. I need you to know that. That's
and that's a conversation I have with Carl. Every time suicide gets brought up, or a conversation gets brought up, his immediate thing is it's a disappointing decision to make. And in retrospect, yes, it is.
Absolutely. I totally get that mindset.
Yeah, and it's a disappointment on two sides, because I'm if somebody I knew was to kill himself, I would be disappointed in the fact that they never came to me for help. Yeah. But there's a small part of me that I'd be disappointed in myself not knowing, or not finding out. And there are people out there who are capable of being completely fucking normal. And I know I've given my grandma shit about the fact that, like the thoughts about me killing myself ran through her head. And up until like a certain point, I always thought like that was the stupidest thing to ever think about me because
Look, Grandma, we can't both be thinking about me killing myself.
right. Like there's not enough brain capacity in this world. But I mean, I can appreciate and respect where she was coming from on her idea.
Sure.
She just went about all the wrong.
Sorry,
way.
I said that really like
No, it's fine.
haughtily. Sure, yeah. I understand. I get where she's coming from.
Yeah. Disclaimer to you, grandmother. I am not thinking about killing myself. Disclaimer to you. Don't write a blog about it.
Yeah.
Thank
you for caring.
Yes. And I can respect her caring about me to think that, that's something that needs to be brought up or mentioned. But mention it to me, not to other people. That's right. That's where it all fell apart. Like that's the problem. It's like if you think I have an issue that I'm suicidal, come and talk to me about it. Don't come and talk to, my family and shit, because unless it's on the podcast, I really don't talk about my life. Like, believe it or not, for people who are out there who think that I share a lot about my life, this is the only place where I share my life. Just because it's a lot easier for me to speak openly and outwards to a bunch of people at once than to sit there and have a sit-down conversation with somebody across the table.
Yeah, you're not going to get any you'll get a response, but it'll be after the emotions are passed, Well, if someone leaves a comment or something.
My biggest problem with having like one-on-one, face-to-face conversations with people about my problems is that a lot of people I know have the knee-jerk reaction to compare it to something they're going through, like instantaneous. Yeah. It's not compassion towards me and my situation. It's always like, I totally understand because I just went through this and this and this, and it's like motherfucker, I just told you I'm depressed because no one listens to me and cares about what I'm saying, and then look what you're doing. Like you're saying that my shit's not worth as much because you went through something far worse. In your mind, it's far worse.
Right.
To me, it matters. And I'm not saying this conversation ever fucking happened. It's an example I think could be utilized as an example for how hard it is for people to talk about their problems. But yes, I feel like it's a disappointing situation where somebody who feels the need to do so doesn't reach out. But at the same time, I would feel a little bummed out on my end for saying like, man, if I only would have reached out more, if I only would have, saw like any kind of sign or just said, hey, how you doing? The simplest thing any of us could do in the world is pick up a phone, shoot a text or call to anybody that we haven't talked to in a while saying, hey, what's up? Hey, what's going on? Hey, so-and-so, me and so-and-so are going to go out and grab dinner, go out and grab a drink. Do you want to come with? Like simple things like that. It's totally doable. We just don't do it anymore in society.
Right.
Yeah,
I feel like everyone is so tired. There's nowhere to go without spending a frickin' mortgage payment.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got an Oktoberfest at Steam Hollow tonight. I'm excited to go to.
Oh, nice. That sounds really fun.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird because like when I was talking to Colin because Colin brings up the fact that him and I need to hang out a lot more often, and I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, I invite you out a lot. I just never hear from you. He's like, yeah, but every time we go out, it's always to Steam Hollow, and I'm like, that's our neutral zone, man. That's the norm there. Like that's what we. That's our place of hangout now. We've created that concept. And that's just what it is.
Right.
It's like,
if you want to go somewhere else, you can take the initiative, bud.
Yeah. Well, he wants to go golfing, which I have no problem going golfing. Every time he asks me to go, it's always at inconvenient times. It's either Sunday mornings where I'm going to church.
Right.
Or he's invited me 2 days before Saturday and I already got plans.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
I was like, and that's another thing too. And I don't want to call it shitty because it's not shitty. Because honestly, I don't mind sitting at home and just doing nothing. But it's like if you're making golf plans a week out, why am I hearing about 2 days before?
Yeah, let me know a week out. Be like, hey, we're thinking about going golfing a week from now.
Right.
Yeah. I hear you.
Also, who golfs in a threesome?
I don't know.
I
don't know about golf.
When he asked me, he's like, hey, do you want to go golfing with me and so-and-so? And I'm like, just the three of us? He's like, yeah. I'm like, why don't you have a foursome? Like, to me, that's just more normal.
Gotcha. I don't know. Yeah, but find it for the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I like evens. Evens is better. I prefer evens. Yeah.
That way somebody can definitely lose. She'll have a first, a second, a third, and a loser.
Right. Oh shit! I do want to get on golf though. You know, I haven't gone golfing. I can't remember the last time I went golfing.
I can't believe how full body of a workout golf can be. Because I'm not a golfer, but I went for, I think it was my brother-in-law's bachelor party. We went to Topgolf.
You have a brother-in-law?
With my what? Yeah, my wife's not anymore. My wife's stepsister was getting married. They're now getting a divorce, but before they got married, we went out with her fiance, her now ex-husband to Topgolf with it was her ex, my wife's sister's now husband, and my father-in-law. And I think that was it. I don't think there was anybody else. It was a very small group. And I thought, you know, I got a Scottish last name. Surely I will be good at golf without trying. Nope. I'm very bad even at driving range. I don't know what the words are. I don't know golf enough to even. Did
you wear a kilt?
No.
Oh, see, that's your problem.
That was my mistake. I didn't wear a kilt, and I didn't wear one of those stupid hats with the little balls on top.
Well, see, that's your biggest problem.
Yeah, I think that's the trick to golf. You got to have the little balls on top and the little balls on bottom.
Oh, 100%. you just need 3 balls just blown in the wind, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have done that, then your Scottish heritage would have kicked in, and you would have crushed that shit.
Yeah, I would have hit it right into one of the big point things, and there would have been bagpipes in the distance. It would have been great.
Yeah, I mean, I like golf, and I don't mind golf. I don't know, and nothing, I don't know if Colin listens to these shows, and if you do, man, I think I've had this conversation with you. If not, you're going to find out here. It's like, I don't mind, like, going golfing and showing people. I just like going golfing in a group of people I know. Like, every time I go golfing, it's always with people I know. Like, everybody goes. I remember one time there was, I think, me, Alan, Carl, and like my Uncle Andy, you know, and I was fine. It was great because I knew everybody. Or I went golfing with just Alan or just my buddy Matt.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go with, you know, like, you know, I don't know if I'd have fun if it was Colin and Colin's girlfriend's brother and me, because it's like, okay, cool. So if it's me, Colin, and Colin's girlfriend's brother, and we have 2 carts, who's driving the cart by themselves?
Right. You know it's going to be you.
Yeah. You know, and it's like I don't want to be a third fucking wheel to, you know, their golf outing. That I was invited to 2 days before the, you know, the actual, you know, golfing.
Yeah. Well, and you can't. I'm trying to think of, like, it can't be you and Colin in a cart, because that would be rude to Colin's girlfriend's brother.
Mm-hmm.
It could be you and her brother. That would be weird for you. Cause you don't know the guy from Adam, you know, unless you're like, I really want to cultivate a relationship with this man, which is fine. You can do that. It's cool to make new friends and stuff, but, like, you know, you're there to hang out with your buddy Colin, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those are the options. It's either you and girlfriend's brother, or you're alone in the cart. Both options kind of suck.
Yeah, it's just like that's why I think the foursome idea fucking, you know, is so much better. But I don't know. I want to get to a point where, you know, obviously the whole, like, you know, dieting and, you know, trying to be more healthy, losing weight, I definitely want to focus on more before I go out and golf again and everything. Just because there's a lot of walking, and yeah, I mean, as it's proof from scrolling through some of these videos and stuff that we shot, some of the footage we shot from the cemetery vlogs, is a lot of heavy breathing. And I don't know how much of the breathing my camera picked up, but I can just imagine a lot of them just gonna be like, okay, guys, We're gonna walk over here and I don't know, look at some shit. Fuck. Yeah.
I feel like you nailed that. That sounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna be that bad, but I
No.
know it's gonna be something like that. I was very like focused on making sure I didn't do that shit. That's why, like, I think after we decided not to use the mics, because the mics picked up pretty well. They're awesome.
Right.
But since we decided to shoot the footage independently, and you shot your side and I shot my side, our cameras didn't need to be worried about picking up both of us at the same time. So I think getting that mic away from my throat and my voice helped out a lot. So.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get that.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Noise gate or whatever.
Noise gate.
I think that's what it's called. Where like the way the microphone works, it only picks up your voice. Type of a thing.
I mean, like not the heavy breathing, but just the voice.
Yeah.
Well, for what I paid for those mics, I doubt that's what they were. They weren't expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. But I mean, it's still fun.
Well, that was a fun trip. This is our first recording back.
Yeah. The one thing I wish we would have done more was record while we were on the road.
Yeah, same.
Just because I already released the recording that we did while driving, and it was only about an hour total.
Oh damn.
Yeah, after I realized how much content we actually got audio wise, I was like, I'm just gonna release this now because we haven't done a show in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So I was like, I might as well just release it now, and that way everyone can find out that I walked into the wrong hotel room and all that stuff, and find
still
out.
Horrifying.
Dude, it's still a thought that's in my head. Yeah, it still lives there rent free. Probably gonna be for a minute. Just, God, I fucking hate that it happened. If you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, first off, I walked into somebody else's hotel room, but yeah, you gave the whole story on the previous shows, the previous podcast. I came across this description of somebody's personality, and I believe this is me.
All right.
So I want to run through the descriptions of this personality and find out if it really is me or not. And I'm trying to see if I can find, because it came across as a TikTok video. And it kind of gives like descriptions and all that other stuff, but basically it's called a Sigma male.
Oh yeah. All right.
You've heard of that?
I have.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure it's a joke.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, it could be. I mean, let's see. Every website that I'm coming across is Wikipedia, which we know that's not entirely factual. Urban Dictionary, which is even less. WikiHow, which is even beyond less. MomJunction.com, which I've never heard of before. And Feranoid?
I've never heard of Feranoid.
Feranoid. Feranoid?
Yep. That's as close as, yeah.
StyleCraze.com. So
anyway, what are you telling me about Sigma males?
It's the trait thing I was kind of curious about. Like I said, like in the video, I tried to focus on the traits as they're going through, but fucking Cooper was running around with the German Shepherd outside and trying to get him in. I just couldn't focus on it. Then I got scatterbrained about it. But the first 3 traits that they listed kind of sound very familiar to me.
Mm.
Like the whole you like being a loner, but you're not against going out and talking with people.
Sure.
Okay being a leader, but understanding the times where you gotta let other people take the reins and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it kind of sounds a little bit like me.
Sure.
Let me see. But like I said, I mean, like, who knows? It could be fake. It could just be like they're just listing everything that describes everybody.
Yeah. I don't know if it describes everybody, but I hear what you're saying. So
Yeah.
the I don't know the exact history of the term. I was on the internet paying attention to these things when it was invented, which is weird to me. But so like it came out of the idea that there's like they wanted like alpha males, beta males, that kind of thing. And that idea came out of a wolf pack study in the 70s that turns out to not be true. Like at all.
I mean, the personality of the title of the person, or the actual study never happened.
Well, the actual study happened, but the researcher who did it realized, like 6 months to a year later, that wolves don't behave like that in the wild. It's something that is, if it exists at all, it only exists in captivity. And he spent the rest of his career so far being like, guys, that study was debunked. I debunked it. I'm the guy who found the study, and I'm the guy who debunked it. Stop using the study. Stop referencing the study. It's bullshit. But a lot of like male like grind set influencers have latched onto this idea that there are alpha males and alpha females and beta males and all this stuff. And I think at some point somebody was like, we need something that goes a step further than alpha male, that doesn't describe like chads. We need something that can describe like lonely guys who are not like big powerful jock types, but are like they're sitting at home, they're thinking about how other guys are getting laid. We need something to describe that. Let's call them sigma males. That's what I think happened. And then I feel like the part of the internet that I'm on now is always just like sigma males. The joke on my side of the internet is like, these are the people who are like, almost so embarrassing that they have to go beyond alpha. Cause that's the idea, right? Cause it's more, you're more alpha than an alpha. You're a sigma. And so, yeah, I think it's specifically designed to appeal to somebody who is like lonely and bummed out and doesn't feel good about themselves. And I just, I don't know, man. I feel like you've stumbled on a part of the internet that is made somewhat specifically for you, just because of where you're at in your life right now.
I mean, listening to what you said, you pretty much just confirmed what I just said. I am definitely a sigma male.
Sure.
I mean, 100%. I mean, come on now. I definitely need something. I already hit alpha male status. I needed the next level. And
damn right. You're like an omega male, man.
Is omega higher?
I don't know. I just made it up.
But omega is something that, what is that?
It's the other end of the alphabet. You could argue it's lower, but like the thing is that like sigma doesn't come before alpha in the Greek alphabet, so it can be whatever you want. So the final male, omega.
Let's see, what was that? Oh, God, you ever watch the movie Resurrection of Gavin Stone?
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe I have. I know you recommended it to me.
I've talked about it numerous times. I still watch it like every other month. It's a movie that I really love. But it's about a guy who is sentenced to court order
community service.
Yes, and he does it in a church, and he ends up playing the role of Jesus in the church play and all that stuff. And they pull a lot of things from the Bible. And one of the things is like he says like in the Bible, like Jesus made this quote like I am the Alpha and the Omega or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's the beginning and end is what he's saying.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. I don't know Greek alphabet or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
But okay. I guess that does make sense. I think he says I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and end of all things or whatever like that. Which is goofy because there's one point in there where she says like he doesn't understand the character of Jesus because he doesn't have humility. But for somebody like Jesus to say, I'm the Alpha, the Omega, in the beginning and end of all things, that's not really humble.
No, it's not. I don't think Jesus said that during his life in the Gospels. I'm pretty sure that was like in Revelation.
It's possible. I'm actually looking up. What does it mean that Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega?
Yeah, Revelation 22:13. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end.
God, what a solid dude.
Right?
Man.
Yeah, that Jesus is pretty cool. He's like the conquering Christ at the end of time or whatever.
All right, just all chiseled out of fucking granite, riding a steed.
Feet of brass and abs of steel and a sword coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, a deep
Two
dive.
of those are actually from the Bible. One of them is not.
2 truths and a lie there, folks.
Yep.
Yeah. If you were Jesus playing 2 truths and a lie, what would they be?
Oh, man. 2 truths. What would my 2 truths be?
Because, I mean, there's a dude that you know, if you play that game with him, like, God, this guy's really messed up. Like I would go with, like, I once walked on water.
Right.
I turned water into wine.
Ooh, that's nice.
And I parted the Red Sea.
Ooh, that's solid. Sticking biblical. I like that.
Yeah, and all water-based.
Yeah.
So
That's solid. I really like the way your mind works.
Yeah, so somebody's going to be like, okay, well, there's no way this guy did any of those things.
Right.
He was probably drunk when he thought he was drinking water, but it was just wine. And he probably assumed he walked on water when he went across a puddle.
Right.
Party in the sea. Maybe he just went over a bridge.
Right.
Right. He was just drunk all the fucking time. But yeah, that's. I think if I was Jesus playing 2 truths and a lie, it would either be that or like I'd be like, I built a big ark. You know, when a flood came to protect 2 of every animal. I was born to a mother who never had sex.
Right. Yeah.
Or I was crucified and died and then came back.
Right.
Yeah, dude, honestly, dude, if I was living back then, I'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right. Yeah. Be like, yeah, my mom was a virgin when I was born.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in a manger. And I just can't think of my lie. It kills me, man. I just can't think of one. I don't know why I can't think of one.
You just got to think of another story in the Bible that's not.
I know that would be the thing. And I spent 3 days in the belly of a whale, right? Like that.
Right? Yeah. I took out a giant with a rock.
Yeah.
I had the strength of 10 men until somebody cut my hair.
Yes, that's a solid one. I once killed 2,000 Philistines with a donkey jaw.
Right? I climbed the mountain to get the rules of life from a higher power.
Yeah. I was going to take my son up to the top of Mount Horeb and sacrifice him, but an angel stopped me and provided a ram instead.
I killed my brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
I once summoned bears to kill some kids because they made fun of me for being bald.
Oh, God. Jesus would be the solid choice to play 2 truths and a lie with.
Yeah.
And honestly, that if anybody out there who's listening to this runs like a Bible study or anything, I think that's a solid game to play to teach people about the Bible.
Right. Well, especially like if you know some obscure stories like the one I just ended with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it could be dark and gruesome at some points with like, Jesus killed his brother. Well, wait a minute. Jesus is an only child. That's the lie.
Right.
Well, of course he's an only child. He killed his brother.
Right.
God, my mother was impregnated by another person, and my dad was cool with it.
Right. Ooh. I need to layer back.
See, right? I'd be like, there's no way any dad would be cool with that. Oh, man. Joe. Oh, man. Well, the girl podcast, the Y'all Girl podcast, is still on hold.
Oh, all right.
One of the girls decided that she didn't want to do it, which I can respect for it. It's fine.
Yeah, better to admit you don't want to do it than sign up and then just not
100%.
do it.
100%. So,
I gotta hang out with my kids. It's Saturday morning. They're definitely awake.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so the hunt continues. I don't know. I know my cousin really wants to do it. It's just her friend, unfortunately, who doesn't want to. And I don't fault her. I get that, like the concept is a little bit. You have to be, really open with who you are and okay talking about your personal life in order to do the podcast. So,
or a really convincing liar.
That's true too. That's true. So who knows? Maybe we'll find somebody, but we still got to work on getting our vlog out, or not our vlog, our church-based podcast out. Maybe Easter of next year.
Maybe.
We'll launch it. Yeah. Yeah. We could play that two truths and a lie game on there.
That would be fun.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I don't know a lot about the Bible. I still have yet to read the whole thing. I should probably get through it. But a lot of the things you mentioned, I don't really know. The bear thing and the bald thing, I didn't quite understand.
Yep, I'm pretty sure. I can never remember if it was Elijah or Elisha. I think it was Elisha. Yeah, Elisha. So 2 Kings chapter 2 verses 23 and 25. He's like walking through the woods with his group and a group of I want to say it was 42 teenagers or something come out, and they're like young men, right? So it's actually legitimately potentially threatening that's happening to him, and they come out and they call him Baldy, and so he prays to the Lord for two bears. Go up, you bald head! Go up, you bald head! Then he looked behind them and saw them. He cursed them in the name of the Lord, and two female bears came out of the woods and tore up 42 lads of their number. And he went from there to Mount Carmel, and there he returned to Samaria. Oh, such a weird story. Such a weird story.
That is, holy hell. That's a great Which part of the Bible is that?
2 Kings, so way back in the, I want to say it's about halfway through the Old Testament. Timeline-wise.
Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, yep. I do. I just, you know what, they need to make a movie or like a TV show about the entire Bible.
Yeah. They made one. I guess they didn't. I don't know how much they covered, but there was a Bible TV show for a while there.
Yeah, but I want to watch like an animated version of the Bible from beginning to end.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
Right. I mean, I would. God, I mean, I don't see how they haven't done that yet. Like, I know they take like the major points of it. I know they do like movies and like shows about like Noah and Moses,
right?
And obviously Jesus, and
like everyone knows the story of David. No one knows the story of JL, who drove a tent stake through a man's head.
Yeah. I want all of it. I want all of the stories, like everything. I want someone to be like, okay, here's this part of it. Let's do this episode. Like I want every little thing. Take me to fucking Babylon and show me Lady Magdalene or Madeline or whatever. Magdalene?
Mary Magdalene?
Magdalene. Is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know. I usually say Magdalene. I don't know why I said Magdalene.
Yeah. The prostitute. the lady of the night.
Yeah. The alleged lady of the night. It's actually not in the Bible that she was a prostitute. People just assumed she was.
Why?
I don't have a good answer to that. I think it's because of, I think they take the story of the woman who was accused of adultery and conflate her with the lady who pours the jar of oil on Jesus' feet. And then they're also like, well, if she was having sex and it was adultery and it wasn't rape, then she must have been a prostitute type of a thing. That's what I think it was. I think they just made a bunch of inferences that they shouldn't have made. And then tied them all together with like, this is all one person. Yeah, the Bible's not clear about that. The Bible's not like, this is the same person.
Right. Give me the story about where the king has to threaten to divide a baby in half in order to, Yeah,
I'd watch a whole show about, you could make a mini series easily on King Solomon alone.
Yeah. But that's how they should do it, man. Man, I tell you, they just, they should.
And I hope they do it as vulgarly as the Bible was written, to be honest with you.
Oh,
like we read it in all this like pretty language because of the KJV. But like, so Solomon's son, Jeroboam, I think it was Jeroboam, it might have been Rehoboam. Anyway, one of the guy who's going to inherit the kingdom, by the end of his life, Solomon is like taxing people beyond what they can pay so that he can try and do these, he's getting married to a bunch of different women from different countries as military alliance things. And, when he's bringing these foreign wives in, they're building temples to these foreign gods, which like super not allowed in the Hebrew laws. But he's king, so he can do it. And in order to fund all of this construction, he is like forcing people to work. So there's slave labor of like actual Israelites. There's, for those who don't want to work, if you pay enough, you can get out of it. And there's taxes and stuff. And so it's really like oppressive to live in Jerusalem at this time. And when Solomon dies and his son takes over, all of the advisors are like, dude, you need to cut taxes. You need to send people home. We do not need to keep doing these construction projects. It's ridiculous. And his son is like, I think in our translation, most English translations you'll see, he says, you thought my dad was bad. You're going to think that he's as bad as my little pinky. Well, the word that gets translated pinky is also a euphemism for penis in the Hebrew.
Really?
Yeah. And so he's basically saying like, you thought my dad was bad. I'll show you who the big swinging dick is.
They need. I mean, this has to be on like HBO Max,
right,
or Netflix. I mean, you can't put shit like that out on PBS, probably.
No, probably not.
But no, I want the legit. I want everything. I want Old Testament everything.
Heck yeah.
I want to see everything that you're supposed to understand from the Bible in these shows.
Yeah, super into it. I love it. I love the Bible, man. I'm such a sucker for it. I just really love it. I know people think that it's weird and stuff these days, but it's such a fascinating text, and it's so interesting. And the more I learn about it, the more I want to learn about it.
I'm not gonna lie, Joe. If you didn't like the Bible in your profession, there'd be a problem.
Right.
Yeah. Joe, what are you freaking thinking about?
Well, now I'm freaking thinking about the Bible, man. No, I for Geekcast Live this week, I prepared myself to, we wanted to talk about Ahsoka and we wanted to talk about One Piece on Netflix. And so I watched the first episode of One Piece, and it's pretty good. If you've never seen the anime, that used to play, they used to play it on Cartoon Network every once in a while, usually at night, Toonami at night or whatever. And it's a great anime. I really enjoyed it, and the live action is shockingly good. I've really enjoyed it so far. I've only seen 2 episodes, but I think I'm going to keep watching. So if you're a fan of anime, if you're a fan of One Piece, this might be an adaptation that you would enjoy. Unlike I think the Cowboy Bebop adaptation on Netflix was kind of terrible. But yeah, One Piece. Check it out on Netflix. What about you? What are you freaking thinking about?
Oktoberfest.
Yeah, of course.
That's Steam Hall Brewing. I've never been able to. Well, I guess never been able to. A lot of the big parties that Steam Hall Brewing puts on, I haven't gone to, and it's either because of work or just I have nobody to go with, and I don't go to things like that by myself. But like their Halloween parties, their New Year's parties, Oktoberfest, all this shit, I've never been to any of them. Not even their anniversary parties. Like I haven't really been, I haven't been to any of them. Just because a lot of them happen either on the weekends that I worked or just because when I wanted to go, people were, busy and they couldn't go, and I'm not going to go sit at a bar and drink by myself, especially during a party and stuff. But, with the fact that I don't, work weekends now, and since I'm still technically on vacation until Monday, and Colin and Michelle are free, we're going to go to that, and I'm going to check out an Oktoberfest, and we're going to hang out there and listen to some music and catch up and bullshit, and I'm going to be the fifth wheel to their couples. Most of it's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and plus we're going fairly early in the day. I think we're meeting around like 12:30, so, even like when everyone's like, okay, I'm done, I'm going to take off, blah, blah, it's still early enough in the day where I could get home, relax and stuff. It's not too late, and, get to the gym tomorrow because I want to try focusing more on, making the gym more of a priority, in my life because I haven't been doing it lately. And for some reason, I'm not sure what happened, but over the course of the last couple of days, my back's been feeling like pretty good, like really good. I'm not sure what I'm not sure what the hell happened. I know when I got out of bed in that hotel, it was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
That bed was just way too soft. Luckily I brought my ibuprofen. I don't fucking know, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
I brought that with me just on the off chance because I knew that driving around all day, sitting in the car, walking around it was going to stiffen up my back, and
yep.
It did. So luckily I did have that. I was able to take that to kind of help out throughout the day. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, back's feeling a lot better. So, I'm going to try to, commit to going to the gym, Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and do the yoga on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday gym, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the DDP yoga. Get back on track with that and everything too. And, yeah,
Saturday cheat day.
Yeah. Saturday
rest day.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, obviously, I still got the wrestling shows I got to do on Saturdays and stuff like that. But yeah, my evenings for the most part because I'm going to try to go to the gym Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday mornings before work. Obviously, when we're doing the DDP yoga Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings. So, I mean, I'll have my evenings to myself to kind of do whatever I want to do. And, and the Saturdays would be my days to do whatever I want to do. And I also want to, start getting to church more often. Just cause I really did enjoy going to my church when I did go. And I want to make that more of a regular thing, because I do miss it. I wish I had somebody to go with, but nobody ever commits to the idea of going with me. So, I'm just going to go with myself and just, kind of dive into the community that church has created. So
nice. Maybe they got a singles ministry. You can meet a lady.
Ooh, God, that'd be the dream. Right. God. Yeah, it's just, what the hell was I going to say?
Going to church.
Yeah, it was something about the church. It was something church related. Going to it. Nobody can really commit going with. Well, it's probably not as important. But, I'm really excited to, going back, start going back to church and everything and being involved in everything that they have going on there. Vacation. I'm finishing up my vacation, which is weird because a week of vacation seems like it's a good enough time, but it's never long enough. But I definitely needed it. It kind of feels like maybe I refreshed myself a little bit. Got the rest that I needed, for the most part. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'll take this vacation as a way to kind of reboot my life, and starting tomorrow and everything, I want to try committing to more of a better, I guess not a better life, but the life that I always wanted for myself.
Nice.
the church and the working out and stuff like that.
Very nice.
Yeah, new
Sigma grind set.
That's right, because I am more than an alpha.
Hell yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Every week our listeners catch Cartoon Joe here on this freaking show. But if a week or an hour a week of Cartoon Joe just isn't enough for our listeners, where can they go?
If you need more Cartoon Joe, you can find me over at the Geekcast Live podcast at violentpress.com. You can also find us on Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Twitter by searching Geekcast Live.
Perfect. Guys, make sure you do follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, This Freaking Show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at Freakin Studios. October's coming up, and our Freaky Cemetery vlogs will be released for you guys to check those out, so make sure you do that. Make sure you hit the notification bell stuff at Freakin Studios on YouTube. And you can listen to our shows when they're released on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, just by searching This Freaking Show. Guys, that's all I got. So, as always, I am Travis C.
And I'm Cartoon Joe.
And thank you for listening to another episode of This Freaking Show. I'm out.